One of them wanted to be the security guy. He claimed he was a security guy.
All right, welcome to Security Guy Radio. What's your name, sir?
Phil Mantia.
What's the name of your company?
I'm with Stopware.
And how do we find Stopware? Stopware.com?
Stopware.com.
Okay. And what do you do for them?
I'm a senior account manager.
All right. And you, young lady, what do you do?
Debbie Pendleton. I'm the VP of Sales and Marketing.
All right. Tell me what Stopware does.
Stopware provides visitor management solutions. We help customers track visitors, temporary people coming in and out of their facility.
Oh, temporary is a big deal, right? So back in the day when I worked at Fox and Disney, we had these little stickers and you wrote on them and then they expired. And we always wanted to issue a temporary hit card, right, or something like that, a physical card that worked in the system. Nobody knew how to do it. You guys do that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
That's really important. Tell me how that works.
We integrate with access control partners.
Okay.
So we communicate with other systems. So when you sign in a visitor to our system, we can activate these cards, these temporary cards.
All right. So integration's always been a problem in the past. Is that kind of gone away? Remember hit cards, right?
Yep.
They kind of integrate with a lot of systems. But, if you had a checkpoint card, a Lenel system, it didn't work on anything except that system. So you are an integrator in a way that will slip into different sort of access control systems and you can make their system work.
Correct. So our integration solutions are done with our partners.
The access control partner.
Right. So it's not something done outside of the system.
Now, why wouldn't the access control partner have the solution? Just curious.
Visitor management is very niche. There's a lot of specific features and requirements for tracking these temporary people, and they seem to be very focused on the permanent people.
Oh, that's very
the employees.
Yeah. Now, does your system have any database capability so I can pull out and do surveys on databases and find out that this one temporary guy comes in every Thursday, and we don't even know who he is? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can do full tracking and reporting, through the database.
All right. So tell me. What's your largest application you're working with? You don't have to tell me a customer name, but like how scalable is it?
Our largest customer has about 1,000 locations tied into one server, one database.
Wow. And that's how many temp employees or visitors do you think come in?
I would say 1 million a week.
Wow. Well, the studios, this was the problem because you had daily hires from the union shop, never in a database, never had an ID card, and it was very difficult to manage that. Tell me how your system manages it from a user-friendly perspective, because usually it's a guard that's going to be working these kind of things, right?
Correct. So we have a true enterprise solution where one administrator can manage all these multiple sites from one location.
Oh, that's fabulous.
And then we have tools in the software that allow you to customize it. So you can design the screen the way you want it for your security person, your reception person. And a lot of these processes, things that happen, are automated. So it's policy-based, meaning you can kind of create your own workflow. And then it's not really up to the security person or reception to remember what needs to be done.
All right.
It's all going to defold to whatever policy that you've set up.
Now, do they use your ID cards, or do you use the system's ID card to do it?
We're compatible with any type of card. So it's not proprietary. It doesn't have to be ours.
Okay. So I went to a bank building downtown in L.A., and there was something similar. Might have been your product, by the way. I'm not really sure. But now that you say this, I'm thinking maybe that's what it was. I got an actual ID card that looked like a regular employee ID card. I don't think it took them 15 seconds to issue it or something. It's super fast, right?
It's super fast. And
do you use photos as well?
We do. So we have devices that can capture photos off an ID, like a driver's license or passport, or we work with digital camera, webcams, take a live photo of the person.
Now, what about returning the card, right? So temporary visitors don't care about that. It's all right. I'm not going to turn it back in. How does the system handle somebody that did not swipe out?
So we have rules set up. There'll be an expiration time where that card will automatically deactivate. This way, it's not dependent on the person returning the card.
What are prices now on cards? Cards used to be $10 back in the day. Have they come down now?
It depends on the technology being used. But yeah, on the low end, a temporary visitor pass could be, 5-6 cents each, all the way up to, $8 to $10.
Yeah.
So we work with all those different stocks.
Do most of your clients use a paper pass solution, or do they use the cards?
The majority of our customers, for managing specifically visitors, tend to use the paper stock, the temporary stock.
An adhesive, the sticky badge.
Oh yeah,
Stick
sticky
right
badge.
on.
Okay. Now, interestingly, in some environments, if it's a suit place, they don't like that, right?
Right.
And then it winds up they just wad it up and throw it away or something like that. So the cards are, kind of a little more
Right.
permanent kind of solution. So if I'm a guy that has a checkpoint system, I'm not sure if checkpoint's even in business anymore, but they used to be the access control system back in the day, right? I'm going to call you and say, hey, I got all these visitors. I don't want to deal with temporary employees. You come in here and fix this for me. Do you have to write any graphic user interfaces to connect to their system, or is it plug and play in a separate server? Or how does it work?
So our system would communicate to their system in real time through the network.
All right.
So really, we just tie into what they already have set up.
Okay. How do we handle things like hackers? That's a big thing now. Everybody's worried about that. Do you find any resistance to put something on someone else's network?
In terms of, we see some concerns if it's a web-hosted type solution, but ours is client-server, so it's the most secure.
Okay, good. Now, can I log in from Albuquerque and do a pass because I forgot to put a pass in for you, and I want to do it? Is it web-based that I can do it remotely, or do I have to do it at the site?
You could do it remotely, as long as you have access to the network.
All right. Excellent. Want to see a demonstration? Can we see how it looks?
Yeah,
All
absolutely.
right, let's go over here and take a look. I'm going to just keep this. Phil, show us what you got for a demo here. Now, would this be a user interface I'm looking at if I'm a guard operating the system? Is that what we're looking at?
We're going to be looking at two separate interfaces.
Okay.
This is what an employee would see when they're pre-registering a visitor.
Oh, okay.
And then there's going to be another GUI for your security person.
All right, excellent. Let's take a look.
So to start off with, this
And
is...
just a reminder to the viewers, if you're listening to this as a podcast, go to YouTube and you can see the video. All right,
so to start, this is our web pre-registration module. This allows unlimited employees the ability to pre-register people right from their desk. So it's one of the biggest trends that we've seen on the visitor management side, putting information into the system ahead of time when you know someone's going to be there. So in this case, if we were on the phone and you invited me to come meet with you tomorrow, you could click on an icon on your desktop or go to a URL. You would be redirected to a page like this. We can do single sign-on authentication, so you automatically log in the person. This page is all customizable. So most of our customers will put their own branding and logos on here, so it's
that's
familiar
great,
to the
and that's
users.
important because back in the day, you had to call the security department to put a pass in, and you needed extra manpower for that. It cost you $100,000 a year extra. So if the employees could do it themselves, that saves a lot of money.
Exactly, and it's a lot easier on the process as well. And now for the security, it's less work for them, and they're going to have a lot of this information
Right.
pre-populated. And you're going to have an audit trail from a company standpoint. You're going to know who's pre-registering who, how many people are expected to be there that day.
Yeah, it's a very easy use case. And now we're not going to be, as the employee, I'm not logging into checkpoint system. I'm logging into this because it's a temporary visitor.
Correct.
Okay, good. I like that separation. It makes it very clear to the employees, this is a temporary visitor. You're kind of responsible for that, right, in the culture. And make sure your brother-in-law is not coming in to steal something in the cafeteria, right? All right.
All right, excellent. So once you're at this page, I'm going to select pre-register. And this is where we're going to be able to enter information about the visitor.
Very easy user, very nice interface.
So it's all one single page with all the information that you need. And from here, you would populate name, company. Let me enter some information. Another option here is an email address. We have a feature called eVisit Pass. So if I enter an email address for a visitor, we can send them a confirmation email with details about their visit.
I like the one-page feature. Too many screens confuse people. That's nice and easy.
It does, and once again, you can choose what fields are important in the process. This is something very good for a good visitor experience.
Right.
You can send them a confirmation email, personalized. Hey, Chuck, want to confirm you're going to be here tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Park in the visitor parking lot. Here's directions to our building. All that type of information. We can add a barcode to that as well.
That's great. Now, can I schedule you to come in every Tuesday for the next 6 months?
Absolutely.
But whoever the administrator is would have to set that rule up to allow it or not allow it, right?
Correct.
All right.
So that's a policy that would be configured
Right.
on the customer side. But right here, if you look at this recurrence feature, there's going to be You can pre-register someone for a period of time.
Now, how do we catch, or how does the administrator catch anomalies, or somebody, cheating on the system, or trying to get their friend in who really shouldn't be there? I assume there are things like visitor not allowed function. Like I, the administrator, can say, Phil's not allowed to come in here, right? And I can block him. But what if I sign Phil in with a fake name? I mean, is there anything that goes through the system and kind of audits itself outside of the administrator auditing it? Because sometimes the administrators are corrupt, unfortunately, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So there's a couple of features that you can tie in here to make it more secure. One, for example, are watch lists. So if you have bolos or specific people that you want to flag, we can search for those people during pre-registration. We also have an approval process that some customers utilize. So you could say anybody in a specific department is allowed to pre-register a visitor, but their manager or supervisor has to look at it and approve it
That's
first.
a good idea. Now, legally, have you ever come across anything like HR department saying, well, you can't put their personal information in here. If they present their driver's license, you can't capture that, or everybody's sensitive about personal identifiable information. So I'm assuming the policy is going to say, present your ID, I verify it. But some systems actually scan your license, right? And take the name off it. Does this have an option for that?
It does. And what you had just mentioned, personal information or PII, that's a big concern to a lot of our customers. So we've made it configurable in our product. So in this case, I've just scanned my driver's license. You can choose what information gets populated.
Well, that's important. See, like in California, you would only be able to capture the first line of that magnetic strip, which is just my name. Anything else, it wouldn't allow you to capture it. So that function is set up by the administrator on your software.
Correct.
It says we're only capturing the guy's name, line 1, and then it has to, of course, match exactly with the pass. And at the studios, Jillian Anderson, that's not her real name from X-Files. So she would bring her driver's license and they say, you can't come in because we put in the wrong name, right? Well, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to double check. So I like that we handle that PII. PII is such a big deal nowadays, and I like the way you handle it. That's good.
It is. And every state seems to be, a little bit unique. So making it customizable just kind of, meets the requirement for everybody.
So you're grabbing the picture off the driver's license, which is nice. Is that getting printed up on the pass?
In this case here, what most of our customers are doing is taking the crop photo on the ID.
Right.
And that's what they'll print on the badge.
Okay.
That PII concern we just talked about, if you kept the image of the ID, technically...
Oh, that's true, technically,
you're capturing, so...
Better have your own camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So you could just pull the photo from the ID and not the image of the ID itself.
Right.
Or you could just choose to take a live photo.
All right. Excellent.
So just kind of walk you through the sign-in process. First step is usually, who are you? Who's the visitor? Right. So in this case, I've populated all that information from the driver's license scan. This is really good, too, from the user standpoint, because I'm not manually entering information. I'm not making a mistake. It's pulling the legal name and everything's correct.
Yeah, that is good.
If we did want to take a live photo, we could just work with one of the peripheral devices.
Oh, that's nice. Look at the quality of that. It's amazing.
I'll capture it. We could crop it now. This way someone doesn't have to stand on that X to get the perfect photo.
Right.
Now that we have the information on the visitor, next step is usually who you're here to see. So another feature that we have is called Directory Link. It allows Passage Point to do real-time lookups from an employee directory, maybe an HR database like PeopleSoft or SAP, or your access control cardholder database.
So kind of two-way authentication in a way. Yeah.
Correct. And this is good, too, because it's not going to let me just sign somebody in for a fake person.
That's the problem, right, like we're saying. So if they authenticate me as a real employee, there's some accountability there.
Exactly.
Because if it's just a bad guy walking through putting in a fake name for the past because I hacked your system, that's a problem. Now, talk about portability on this, right? So I could see this being used at a special event, like maybe you're clearing a private party, and you need to make sure everybody's ID'd for whatever reason. Can we take it in the field and do that?
Yeah, absolutely. We do have mobile solutions.
Specific mobile solutions.
Yes.
All right.
So this is, we'll show you the actual unit, but
all right, good.
These units are the ID scanner, the camera, the barcode scanner, all these things we just talked about. They're all embedded. So this unit has everything. And this will communicate to the server in real time using wireless or broadband. So if you wanted to assign somebody an access card, if you wanted to do a lookup or do a watch list check, you can utilize all the features.
That's fabulous. And You just bring a little portable printer with you or whatever and go from there.
Yeah, we work with these little Bluetooth belt printers.
Yeah.
Kind of like when you return your car.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, those are great.
Yeah, so no power, no wires or.
I've not
connections.
seen a system this easy, right? Are you kind of one of the only people in this space for this sort of thing?
We are. We're very unique in the space. We're very unique in the space. We've had products in the market since 1997.
97?
So
Nobody was even using the internet back then. That's amazing.
Originally, our product, customers used our product very simple, just to produce a temporary badge.
Yeah, right.
So capture information in a database, print a badge, print a report. Over the years, visitor management has kind of evolved to take on more of a safety and security focus.
I think it's so odd that those big access control companies never thought about this, incorporating it. It's the number one problem. Basically, I don't need an access control system because as a guard, I could do a manual check on that. But temps, I have no idea. So that's really interesting. All right,
So-
how do we get a hold of you guys?
You can reach us at stopware.com.
All right.
Give us a call, 408-367-0220.
Now, you have to say something because you've been standing here the whole time.
I've been standing here forever waiting just to be on camera because, but Phil does a great job and he's been with the company a really long time. His email address is philm@stopware.com and mine's Debbie, Debbii @stopware.com.
Talk to us real briefly about the sales and looking at enterprise solutions for big companies. Can we spread this across, 3 countries, right, and make it all integrated one way?
Correct.
Right.
And a lot of people, what they do is they start with a couple locations, or they start with U.S., do an implementation, and then roll out to other countries just to step it out and get everything set up and configured the way that they want. And we go on site, we help them, we do the installation, we can do on-site training, we can do remote training. We have all the services available.
How much training does the guard need to get up and running on this?
Not a lot.
That's what I'm thinking, right?
No.
Because
not a lot.
sometimes they're low technology users. Unfortunately,
It's the administrator that we do more of the training with, so
Right.
that they can understand the policies and how to configure the system. But normally we walk through that with them, and once it's set up, it's there. They don't really need to make many changes. But as far as the guards, that kind of stuff, it's simple sign in. It's a good user interface that's easy for them to utilize. So that part of it is quick and easy.
Well, I want to thank both of you for coming on Security Guy Radio. This has been a really good show.
We appreciate it,
I learned
Chuck.
something every time I come here.
Yeah.
And I hadn't heard of you guys before, but we're going to hear about it now. I'm going to put this out on social media.